Hi everybody, welcome back to our The Tale of Despereaux Read Aloud. Today we are going to be reading two chapters, chapter 47 and 48. And if you're up for it, head over to the link on this page and you can see the questions that I want you to be thinking about as you're listening. So let's get started with chapter 47. No choice. Despereaux stood trembling on the steps. The thread was most definitely gone. He could not hear it. He could not see it. He should have tied it to himself when he had the chance, but it was too late now. Despereaux's dire situation suddenly became quite clear to him. He was a 2-ounce mouse alone in the dark, twisting dungeon full of rats. He had nothing but a sewing needle with which to defend himself. He had to find a princess, and he had to save her once he found her. "It's impossible," he said to the darkness. "I can't do it." He stood very still. "I'll go back," he said, but he didn't move. "I have to go back." He took a step backward. "But I can't go back. I don't have a choice. I have no choice." He took one step forward and then another. No choice. His heart beat out to him as he went down the stairs. No choice, no choice, no choice. At the bottom of the stairs, the rat Botticello sat waiting, and when Despereaux stepped from the last stair onto the dungeon floor, Botticello called out to him as if he were a long-lost friend. "Ah," said Botticello, "there you are. Exactly. I've been waiting for you." Despereaux saw the dark shape of a rat, that thing that he had feared and dreaded for so long, finally step out of the gloom and come to greet him. "Welcome, welcome," said Botticello. Despereaux put his paw on the needle. "Ah," said Botticello, "you are armed. How charming." He put his paws up in the air. "I surrender. Oh, yes, certainly, exactly, I surrender." Said Despereaux. "Yes," said Botticello, "you." He took the locket from around his neck. He began to swing it back and forth. "Please go on." "I don't want to hurt you," said Despereaux. "I just need to get by you. I'm on a quest." "Really?" said Botticello. "How extraordinary. A mouse on a quest." Back and forth went the locket. "A quest for what?" "A quest to save the princess." "The princess," said Botticello. "The princess. The princess. Everything seems to be about the princess these days. The king's men were down here searching for her, you know. They didn't find her. That goes without saying. But now a mouse has arrived, and he is on a quest to save the princess." "Yes," said Despereaux. He took a step to the left of Botticello. "How inspiring," said Botticello. He lazily took a step to his right, blocking Despereaux's way. "Why the hurry, little friend?" "Because," said Despereaux, "I have to—" Yes, you have to save the princess, exactly. But before you save her, you must find her, correct?" "Yes," said Despereaux. "What if," said Botticello, "what if I told you that I know exactly where the princess is? What if I told you that I could take you right directly to her?" Said Despereaux. His voice shook. His paw on the needle trembled. "Why would you do that?" "Why would I do that? Why would I help you?" "Why, to be of service, to do my part for humanity, to aid in the saving of a princess." "But you are a rat," supplied Botticello. "Yes, I'm a rat, and I see by your trembling that the greatly exaggerated rumors of our evil nature have reached your oversized ears." "Yes," said Despereaux. Said Botticello, swinging the locket back and forth, "if you allow me to be of assistance, you will be doing me a tremendous favor. Not only can I do a good deed for you and for the princess, but my actions will help to dispel this terrible myth of evil that seems to surround rats everywhere. Will you let me assist you? Will you let me assist myself and my kind?" Reader, was it a trick? Of course it was. Botticello did not want to be of service. Far from it. You know what Botticello wanted. He wanted others to suffer. Specifically, he wanted this small mouse to suffer. How best to do that? Why, take him right directly to what he wanted, the princess. Let him see what his heart desired, and then, and only then, faced with what he loved, would Despereaux die. And at the end of it all, how tasty the mouse would be, seasoned with hope and tears and flour and oil and thwarted love. "My name, little friend, is Botticello Rimorso, and you may trust me. You must trust me. Will you tell me your name?" "Despereaux. Despereaux Tilling." "Despereaux Tilling, take your paw from your weapon and come with me." Despereaux stared at him. Come, said Botticello. "Let go of your needle. Take hold of my tail. I will lead you to your princess, I promise." What, reader, in your experience, is the promise of a rat worth? That's right. 0, zip, nada. Goose eggs. But I must ask you this question, too. What else was there for Despereaux to hold on to? You are right, again, nothing. And so the mouse reached out. He took hold of the rat's tail. Chapter 48. on the tail of a rat. Have you ever had hold of the tail of a rat? At best, it is an unpleasant sensation, scaly and cold, similar to holding onto a small, narrow snake. At worst, when you are dependent upon a rat for your survival, and when a part of you is certain that you are being led nowhere except to your death, it is a hideous sensation, indeed, to have nothing but a rat's tail to cling to. Nonetheless, Despereaux held on to Botticello Remorso, and the rat led him deeper and deeper into the dungeon. Despereaux's eyes had, by this point, adjusted quite well to the darkness, though it would have been better if they had not, for the things he saw made him shiver and shake. What did he see? He saw that the floor of the dungeon was littered with tufts of fur, knots of red thread, and the skeletons of mice. Everywhere there were tiny white bones glowing in the darkness, and he saw, in the dungeon tunnels through which Botticello led him, the bones of human beings too. Grinning skulls and delicate finger bones, rising up out of the darkness and pointing towards some truth, best left unspoken. Despereaux closed his eyes, but it didn't help. He saw as if his eyes were still open, wide the bones, the tufts of hair, the knots of thread, the despair. Ha ha, exactly, Botticello laughed as he negotiated the twists and turns. Oh yes, exactly. If what was in front of Despereaux was too horrible to contemplate, what followed behind him was perhaps even worse. Rats. A happy, hungry, vengeful parade of rats, their noses up in the air, sniffing, sniffing. And there's a picture. It says Despereaux closed his eyes. So there he is over here, and this is the rat. Mouse, sang out one rat joyfully. Yes, oh yes, mouse, agreed another, but something else too. Soup, called out another rat. Yes, soup, the others agreed. Blood, sang a rat. Blood, they all agreed together. And then they sang, Here, mousey, 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 here, little mouse. Botticello called out to the other rats. Mine, he said. This little treasure is all mine, gentlemen and ladies. Please, I beg you, do not infringe on my discovery. Mr. Remorso, said Despereaux. He turned and looked behind him and saw the rats, their red eyes and their smiling mouths. He closed his eyes again. He kept them closed. Mr. Remorso, he shouted. Yes, said Botticello. Mr. Remorso, said Despereaux, and he was crying now. He couldn't help it. Please, the princess. Tears, shouted the rats. We smell tears, Mousie, we do. Please, shouted Despereaux. Little friend, said Botticello, little Despereaux Tilling, I promised you, and I will keep that promise. The rat stopped. Look ahead of you, he said. What do you see? Despereaux opened his eyes. Light, he said. Exactly, said Botticello. Light. And that is the end of chapter 48. So go ahead and think about those questions, and I will see you tomorrow for another read aloud.